Hi! Happy Tuesday. Well, it is actually a happy Tuesday because I've been waiting all day to find out if the man with the scooter tyres was going to come today. So I've waited in all day. I'm in anyway because I look after the dogs on Tuesday because my son goes to work and my daughter-in-law goes to see her grandchildren. So I would have been in anyway, but I kind of couldn't do anything. I couldn't go in the shed or anything like that because I couldn't hear the dog, All right, I've got two little alarms, that would have barked and let me know. But by the time I'd have made my way through from the shed, and through everywhere, through the house, whoever it was at the door could have vanished. And I was expecting the Amazon man because I needed some more, the mailing bags, little purple mailing bags, because I've sold some more of my dresses that are too big. Having said that, because of my non-injections, because I can't get them, I have actually managed to put on £5, which I am not happy about at all. But according to the news, it could be 2024. What I don't understand is, if they were making the same amount of injections, and they're still making the same amount of injections, why can't we get our injections? Obviously because somebody with plenty of moolah is buying the flipping things. I did read that one of the side effects, that when you stop taking the injections, bear in mind I only take one a week, they're taking one a day. The minute you stop taking these, you start ballooning the weight up again. Yay! I hope they do. I hope these so-called celebs who are jabbing themselves daily with my diabetes injections look like Mr. Blobby. If you're in the US, you may not know who Mr. Blobby was, but he was on the TV and he was this massive, big sort of blow-up character. I think he was pink with yellow spots, yeah. And he was boom, 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 boom. So I hope they all blow up like Mr. Blobby. Anyway, you may have seen I have finished the sweater. The crochet sweater. With my own pattern, of course. Woo, where are we? Oh yeah, I can never do this right, can I? I'm always showing you the wrong bits. There you go. I finished it. I will put a picture on Instagram to show you what it's like. Anyway, I did have some more wool and I was going to make another one. Then I thought, no, I've not used my Knit Pro Zing needles that everybody goes mad about. So I thought, I'll cast on with the sweater. It's supposed to be my size. It's looking awfully small, unless it stretches. Looking very, very small. I'm on the right needles. They are hurting my fingers a bit. I find I must push the needle down, the tip of the needle down as I knit. So far be it for being a pleasant experience, so far I'm not enjoying it really. I did try to knit with them, with the large size. This is what I'm making. It's an old pattern. I've just bought it off Etsy. Excuse the colour, but the colours run out on my printer. You can buy it on Etsy because I've just bought it. It's one of the quite reasonable ones, about £2 or something like that. So it's done in Lister brush double knitting. And I'm doing my size. I'm doing the 42 bust, but it's kind of looking a little bit small. Anyway, you may not see that being finished for a while because I'm quite slow compared with knitting, compared with, my crochet, yeah. I did start, I think I mentioned to you before that I'd been into the shed and found the Sari silk. I had a few of these hanks. They're rather rough. They're not exactly the nicest thing to. I tried crocheting with it, couldn't. I tried knitting with it on the Knit Pro Zing needles and it wouldn't push along. It was just looking awful. Anyway, I started it on my old trusty aero needles. So I started it. You start sideways. I've introduced another colour as a stripe in it. It's not gone wrong. But the pattern I'm using is a very, very, very ancient pattern that I've had since Adam was a lad. It's a lovely book, mind you. It's a Phildar book, and if you can see, it says very fadedly, Janet's copy, please, and it's not for sale. For reference only, not for sale. The one I always wanted to make and never did. I don't know why I never did it, because I think it's gorgeous. Maybe one day I'll make it. But then, of course, on my scooter, it would, you know, I'd have to put buttons on it, wouldn't I? But the one I'm making is one that I have made many, many, many times in the past. It's that one. So it started side to side, yeah. I have made the crochet one as well, but it wasn't as nice. That one. This one I made in the right wool. It was called Tweedy, I think. Phildar Tweedy. And it was brown and beige mixed together. Now I know that doesn't sound very me, but we are talking about 30 years ago when I was working in the shop. And I put buttons all the way down mine. They were like made out of horn, you know, and they were really nice with it. I haven't made the other two because that one is in very, very thick wool. Well, I say wool because it had got wool in it. If you ever knew Phildar. I used to stock it, but I mean, there's some gorgeous patterns in there, isn't there? Whoa. I would make most of these patterns. Perhaps not hers because they're beige. But those are Aaron designs. You may still get this book, you never know, through the wonders of Betsy, do you? And then these are like long jackets, which were fashionable at the time. You know, wearing long jackets with a belt on. Don't want to look at men's stuff, do you? Turn the pages. Yeah, and I did want to do that, but I never did. Another long jacket. They were very, very fashionable at the time, these long jackets with great big sleeves. You know, wide sleeves. One of my customers made that. I never saw her wear it, but she did make it. But they did have some lovely... I made the hat. Didn't make the jacket, but I did make the hat. But there are some nice ones in there that I would still wear now. I think that one was crocheted, if I'm not mistaken, but I didn't make it. I think it might be crochet. But what I did love was like these. They were fashionable at the time. These tabards. And these I absolutely loved, and I don't know why I never got around to making one. Isn't that gorgeous? All the different shades. I loved all of those, but especially the cape. Very well hung with the fringe around the bottom. Yeah, that's another big. They had a passion for making huge shawls as well in Phildar. I think we'll get to the end of the book. These are fine. Phildar wool came in different. They were either very, very fine or very, very thick. And the fine was gorgeous, but I hadn't got the patience. I mean, that is fantastic. Look at that. But I can't do circles. Well, I can do the circles, but I can't join the flipping things together. My niece begged me one time to make this little jacket thing in circles. Could I join it together? I couldn't. I had to give up. I couldn't do it, yeah. That's another one. I mean, these, you know, you get decent patterns. They don't date, do they? I mean, this one I'm going to be making now, if it ever fits me, which I've got my doubts about. I seem to have really tightened up with knitting. At one time I would always have to use a smaller needle because my tension was always very slack. But I must be tightening up with my old age. Perhaps because I don't knit as much, yeah. But this one's very old because Vistas has been out of production for many years. Sadly, they went to the wall many years ago. But you could still get the pattern. I bought it today. Oh, let's see. Yeah. I also had more colours of the Sari silk, but they're just ones. I don't know what on earth I'm going to do with them. Look at that thickness of that one. I might need another one actually to put in the centre of the back, because you go across from sleeve to sleeve. So I'm starting to counting up how many it's taking, you know, to do so far. And I've actually got 4 of these, which is gorgeous, the purple. But I'd have to use it as an accent, you know, maybe with some purpley aubergine colour and use this in stripes in it, incorporate it. It's been in my collection for many moons, so I don't know where, well, I know where I got it from. I think I got it from eBay. I wanted this Sari silk and of course never made anything with it. What's this? What does this say? Oh, this is www.yarn.co.uk. Art yarn and Sari silk ribbon. Many thanks, Janet. Happy crocheting, Julie. Whoever Julie may be. But look how thick that is. That's real cut up Sari, isn't it? Just cut up Sari stuff. Again, that one, I've only got that. It doesn't say how many yards are on it. It doesn't say anything. I would imagine not a lot because it's quite thick. It reminds me really of these people who do these darn good yarn kind of videos, and they get these balls of wool that look about 25 grams and they're going, oh, they're beautiful, they're gorgeous, and they look a bit like this. And I often think, I wish you'd do a video telling me what you've actually made with it besides an egg cosy, you know, because you couldn't even make a bag really. You could make maybe a phone cover with it. You couldn't make a shawl, scarf, anything. It's too thick. It will have to be a trim. I mean, look at the thickness of that. It's definitely just saris chopped up. I mean, these are saris chopped up, these others, but they are woven. You know, woven into fabric. But they're pretty prickly, having said that. You know, I found one in a ball. Oh, where's it gone? Oh. We're taking my knitting undone here. It's very prickly. You know, when you wind it in a ball, it's very prickly. It's like, it reminds me very much of that, oh gosh, what's that wool called? It's Japanese or Chinese. Everybody goes crazy over it. Oh, a friend asked me to crochet or something with it once. It had all bits of twigs in it. And everything, and everybody raves over it. I mean, the colours are gorgeous in it. It's so expensive. And it's so rough. It's rough. I've got a book of designs of it because they are pretty. I'm not kidding you, they are pretty. And they're pretty expensive too. But when I crocheted it for her, I said, do you know, I said, I hated it. It was full of knots. It was full of bits of twigs and greenery and grass and everything. And she said, oh, that's the nature of it. I thought, well, I wouldn't want to wear this. But this is quite rough, yeah. So that's the sleeve. You start with the sleeve. And then because I knew I didn't have enough, I put a stripe of another colour, which will be like right here, where the sleeves are. And then I've gone across with the red. I'm nearly up to the part where you divide, you know, for the neck. So I'm keeping tabs on like how many, you know, balls I've used so far. but it is very, very rough. It's something that I will be wearing on top of something else, yeah. Anyway, my scooter man rang the other day and he said, we're having to order you. You know, I've been in touch with the manufacturer, he said, to find out what the problem is. And we're going to send out an engineer. It can't be me, he said, because I can't fit these solid tyres on because it's got to be up on a ramp or something, I don't know, and it needs tracking. But I've just got a message, you know, on the phone saying, I'll see you tomorrow. And I'm like, I thought it wasn't going to be you. I thought it was, you know, the engineer who was going to be coming and putting it on a ramp and doing all this stuff to it. So I do hope he's not just going to bring me another tyre. You know, I mean, I've been off the road for a whole week, near enough now. It was on my way back last Wednesday when I had the puncture. So I've been stuck in because I had to go to the post office. Luckily my son gave me a lift to the post office in the car because it was absolutely belted down with rain. And I know I've got the little scooter, the fold up one, but there's no way I was going out in that kind. It was thundering, lightning, the rain was jagging down, and I thought, I don't need to post them that urgently. Anyway, I've got another 6 to post today. Well, I can't post them today. No scooter. Nobody's home now until after the post office is closed. In fact, the post office is closed right at this very minute in time. So, if they come tomorrow morning before 10 like they promised, if he hasn't just brought me one tyre, because I'm just going to go mad if he's just bringing me one more tyre, because they're not lasting 3 weeks. You know, I mean, they're paying for them, not me, because it's on a contract, so they're responsible for them. But I mean, it must be costing them money to keep buying these tyres, you know. So I'm hoping he's bringing proper, solid tyres. Admittedly, they probably won't do me back a whole lot of good, because that's why I don't like the little folding scooter, except for just going round town. It's handy if you're going somewhere to visit a town, like say for example when I'm going to Bury or I'm going to Manchester. Put it in the boot of the car and go round the shops with it, but you can't really go anywhere on it. It's just not made for that. It's got a solid tyre to about like, well, the size of like Tonka toy wheels of toys, yeah. So whenever you go over anything, it's and they won't even take their slightest little curb, you know, it won't do it. You have to sort of get off and pull it down the curb and then get back on it again, much to my son's annoyance. Different brand of tomato juice. It tastes with celery actually. Not bad, but it just doesn't taste like just tomato juice. It tastes like tomato juice that's been, you know, had some celery introduced into it. I was saying to my son about not being able to get it, and he said that's because they use it with vodka to make the, you know, the drink, the Be Mary drink, yeah. And but mine's a virgin Be Mary because it's not got any vodka in it. Yeah, I just like drinking it, not en masse. I just like a glass every day, every other day. Yeah. But I haven't been able to get any anywhere. I did manage to find some in Marks and Spencer's, but it was in where the wines and spirits was. Never thought to look for it there. And I wasn't looking in the wines and spirits, so I don't know how I found it, but I actually did. It, out of the corner of my eye, I just saw, oh, that looks vaguely like tomato juice where the wines are. So I whizzed my trolley over, and sure enough it was. I thought, well, I would have never thought to look for it there. I kept looking in shops for it in where the juices were. You know, you can get cranberry juice, orange juice, apple juice, whatever juice you want. No tomato juice. But when I lived in Prestwich, that's where it used to be. It used to be with the, you know, the fruit juices. But whether or not I would have to go in the supermarket to the wines and spirits aisle, which I don't normally go down here, maybe I might find it there. Otherwise I'm going to have to pay Marks and Spencer's prices, because This one isn't as nice. I prefer the Marx's one. Yeah. Anyway, what am I wearing today? It's rather nice, isn't it? Rather nice. Don't know whether you can see it or not. I'll bring my mic a bit closer. I love this. I don't often wear it because it doesn't go with an awful lot of things. I have been wearing this dress, and I was wearing it with the cardigan in bottle green. But it's a bit hot in here, so yeah, so that's it. So I haven't even had any dinner tonight because I had my lunch. Yeah. So I've eaten quite a lot today. I had a poached egg on toast for my breakfast, and then I had a bacon and egg sandwich for my lunch. So that really means I'm not hungry. I think I've mentioned before, I tend to only eat 2 meals a day. I mean, I am putting weight on and I don't want to. I'm trying to go the other way. But maybe it's because you know, the instructions are, don't stop the injections suddenly. You know, you need to wean yourself off them. I didn't get a chance to wean myself off them. I went and they didn't have any. And the internet's saying 2024. So no doubt my sugar levels are up the pole, although I don't even get a free thing you jab your finger with, and I refuse to buy one. I'm being tight. And to get one of those, you know, round circle things that, you know, you reach with your phone thing, they're about £300 if you buy them. So having just spent about, what, £325 and £109 in my mouth, and then I've got to go, after I've had my diabetic eye test on the 18th, I think it is, or the 20th, I have then got to go to get my eyes tested, get new lenses and that. And as I get nothing for free, you know, as well-off pensioners, yeah, right, you know, that get like, what, £50 a week less than the people who retired after me. It's bone of contention, that. Bone of contention. The new retirees only had to work 30 years, and they get £50 a week more than I do. I had to work 36 or 37 years to qualify for the lesser amount of pension. Not fair, that, is it? No, it isn't fair. I mean, relatively speaking, we paid the same amount, percentage-wise, out of our earnings to buy, you know, the national insurance stamps, the contributions, whatever you want to call them. They used to be stamps. That's how old I am. You went to the post office, you bought a stamp and you stuck it on the card, yeah. Well, you did if you were self-employed. But, you know, I told you before I was a bit miffed when they told me my self-employment stamps didn't count for anything, really. I said, well, I wish you'd have told me that. I wouldn't have bothered buying them, you know. And now I've told that I'm like £50 a week less than the people who are retiring now. And there's no plans to bring us up to scratch, you know. It's just unfair because we have the same bills as anybody younger than us do. Yeah, there is no, not even in the pipeline to bring us up to speed, if you know what I mean. Is it any wonder I tried to sell my crochet, although I give up with it? I haven't even tried to sell anything, because I don't know. I watch all these videos and I watch these people in the US and different countries, you know, selling, like, you know, the waistcoats I've just finished with, the circular waistcoats all in bright colours, selling them for about $100 each or something like that. I know for a fact if I put mine up for sale, I wouldn't get anything. I wouldn't get any money. The problem is I'm such a sort of compulsive or obsessive crocheter, whatever you want to call it. I crochet to keep myself calm. You know, I find I get a bit stressed or I get a bit het up if I'm not crocheting. And at the moment the eyes are a bit dodgy, so reading's out of the question in a minute. I'm kind of squinting at everything. I was trying to read last night. I went to bed and I couldn't sleep. Just could not sleep, and I thought, shall I get up? And I thought, no, So I had my little Kindle Fire thing. It's only a little thing here. I've had it for years. But the print's small. I was trying to make it go bigger with it. I gave up. And I don't know whether it was reading with that, but I got up to go to the bathroom after I'd finished reading it and I had black spots in front of my eye and I couldn't see anything. It's probably from staring at that little screen. It's only about that big. So, but I had to read because I couldn't get the internet. My room is, like I said before, squashed between a rock and a hard place really. I mean, it does not get internet. Half the time my Alexa goes off. I mean, I have said to my son about it and he said, I keep moving the hub thing about, you know, the booster thing for the internet. But I appear to be in a dead space. It could be the fact that I've got wardrobes, you know, blocking signals or whatever, yeah. Oh, I bought a lovely clothes rack. Oh, brilliant. I won't be able to take this one to any craft fairs, but then I don't intend to do any more craft fairs. If I do a craft fair, it'll probably be just a Christmassy one with my friend and just do bits and pieces, no garments, nothing like that. So I don't need a clothes rail anymore. But this is really... The other ones I've had, yeah, I leaned on one gently in the shed and it just went... So that was another one gone. The one I had in my bedroom, it wouldn't stay up, it kept going down, and then a caster, you know, the caster wheels fell off. So the other day I thought, right, I'm going to order another one. So I ordered a heavy duty one. And it's higher up, which is better actually, because it means my sweaters are not on the floor anymore. And it's also got 2 rails underneath where I can put my shoes. So instead of my shoes being on the floor in the bedroom where I trip over them, they're now on a little rail. Yay! So the only thing is I couldn't see the clock, so I'm going to have to get a ladder or something and put the clock higher up. How I will go on in the winter I don't know, because it's actually next to the radiator. But having said that, with the cardigans being higher up than they were before, I'll probably get more heat coming through, you know, underneath the cardigans, if you're with me. Whereas before the cardigans were low down, so they were right next to the radiator. So the heat was just heating up the cardigans. I do need to reorganise. I need to reorganise my shed. I need to reorganise my bedroom. I've got one of those up and over beds, you know, where you heave it up with a great deal of... It seemed to be easy when I was in IKEA, or IKEA, whatever you want to call it. But then again, of course, there was no bedding on it, was there, and anything? There was just a mattress. And so it just went, and it went up. But when you've made the bed and got everything on it and that, it's... And not only that, the little piece you're supposed to pull keeps disappearing down inside the bed. So, I tend to put things in there that I don't use, if you want. It's the same with the cupboards above my bed. I can't get up there. I have to get ladders and stand on the bed, and then, even then, I'm not tall enough. And I'm always scared to death of falling, you know. My time of life with brittle bones and stuff, frightened of breaking something like a hip or something. Right, I'm going to go now, so I shall speak to you. I shall speak to you very soon. I'll go and see whether I fancy anything for me tea. We have filled up the new freezer, so there's stuff in it. Yeah, so I need to go and have a look. I found the ice cream. Found that. Yeah. So, okay. Bye for now. I will update you about the scooter and the new tyres tomorrow. Bye.